Hey everybody, today we're going to walk through my 2020 reading bullet journal. I originally tried to film the setup of this journal, but the footage was at a really weird angle and it just didn't look good. I've been using this journal for a few months now and I thought I would just kind of flip through the pages and talk about each spread and how it's been working for me. If you're curious what kind of journal this is actually a dot journal, that's the brand name, and it's this sparkly gold metallic, which I really enjoy. And here's where you can find it. So it's a dot grid, but then the brand name is also a dot. And I was kind of hesitant to buy this because I usually go with the Leuchtturm or Moleskine, but I just loved the cover and how it was metallic, so I took a chance. And actually it's pretty good. The markers don't really bleed through or anything. It's pretty equivalent to a Leuchtturm. So first we just have contents. Then we have my unread bookshelf. These are all the books on my shelf that I haven't read yet, and then I just color them in as I read them. Over here is for library books. This page I really love. This is my Goodreads challenges page. I just have every year that I've been on Goodreads so far, what my goal was that year, and then where I netted out. Goodreads told me this morning that I'm 10 books behind my goal, which was, yeah. Next we have my favorites page. I just put every year that I've been on Goodreads and then my favorite books from those years, just so I could kind of see like a time capsule, what I've been reading throughout the years, what I've been loving, and it's kind of interesting to see like the genre shift, because it starts out with lots of YA and then by the end, by 2019 we're down to some more adult contemporary. Over here I just have a want to buy list, just books that I want to keep on my radar for the next time I'm in a bookshop. Next is the interested in page. This is just where I can track books that I'm interested in but don't necessarily want to add to my Goodreads to read list. I often use the Goodreads app when I'm in the library or in the store kind of searching, so I want that list to be books that I'm 100% certain I want to read, and these were ones that just kind of sounded good, but maybe I want to wait until more people put reviews up, or kind of like just a backup list of books I'm interested in. So that's kind of the general section. Then we get into 2020, and I'm hoping that I'll have enough pages to kind of keep using this next year, because I think it would be fun to have all of my reading stuff in one journal, but at the rate I'm going, we might need a new journal by next year. Over here I have my Goodreads goal of 80 books, and then I have 80 stars, so I've just been coloring them in as I go, and I've been trying to pick a color that matches the cover, so I thought that was kind of fun. Really? Then we have my genre tracker. I wanted to kind of try to branch out from reading the same thing, because I noticed last year I read the same genre over and over again. These fun stamps that I had, I just did one for each genre that I want to read, and then over here I have like the reality of what I'm actually reading, just so I could kind of see like what I was hoping to read and what I'm actually reading. Over here I have my book club spread. And last year I had drawn the covers of each book that we read for book club, but you'll see in a minute I'm actually drawing all of the covers this year of every book that I read. And I didn't want to have to do that twice. And this is our book club name, Relatively Bookish Book Club, because we're all related. It's my aunt, my cousin, and my mom, so I thought that was funny. Here I just have a list. I have the number of the book that I'm on, the title, rating, then I have hardcover, paperback, ebook, library, own, number of pages, and then how much the book costs, because I'm going to tally up at the end how much money I saved from using the library. This is kind of my pride and joy right here. These are the book covers that I've drawn so far. I have been having so much fun with this. I look forward to it at the end of a book, just getting out my pencil and my markers and having a great time drawing each of these covers, and it's so hard because they're so small. On my Instagram story I've actually been showing as I draw these, so I've been showing like the rough sketch in pencil, and then I've been showing how it looks once it's all done. So if you want to check that out, you can follow me on Instagram, and I post that pretty regularly every time I finish the book. Then we have the Read-A-Thon schedule. This is just a box for every month of the year, and then different readathons and the day that they start, so I can keep track, because a lot of the times I'll see people announce readathons online and then I forget about them. So I wanted a place to kind of remember which ones, and then put a little check mark next to the ones that I actually participate in. Over here, same idea except with release dates, so these are just books that are coming out and the day that they come out, so I can remember. This spread was inspired by Gabby Reads. I think she usually does this at the end of the year so that she can film her year wrap-up, but I wanted to track it as I go throughout the year. So we have format, rating, gender of author, age group, year published, author, genre, and other stats. And in the other stats section, I have buddy read, reread, and I am tracking my DNFs. Up at the top, we also have a box for each month and then how many books I finish each month. So then we kind of get into the monthly spreads. So I have this really fun stamp that is in the shape of a calendar. So I've been using that to track page numbers because I track how many pages I read every day. And so this is kind of like the last page I was on that day, so that if I don't update the tracker every day, at least I can kind of see like where I was and do the math later. And then we have the color coding, we have the book title, stars for when I'm done to color in how many stars in my star rating, and then I love this tracker bar, so as I'm going I fill it in at what percentage I'm at, and it's fun just seeing like where I am. I also have been doing spreads for each read-a-thon that I participate in. I haven't been doing that great with read-a-thons, but this was the Lover Swift-a-thon, and this was the Smut-a-thon. Then I was kind of taking some notes as I was reading so I could do reviews, but then I promptly didn't post any reviews. So February, same idea, have a little fun quote over here. This is a little bit prettier, but yeah, so I would have the ebook pages here, and I'd see, okay, I was at 50% in the book on the ebook, and then I would do the math of what's 50% of the paperback or what hardback or whatever, and convert that to physical pages. It's kind of a pain, but I just like being able to track it that way. Some more notes. Then we get into March, and I had tried to do the backlist readathon, but then everything kind of blew up in the world and I just didn't really read. But I do want to get through these books, so I think even though technically the readathon's over, I'm going to keep trying to go through this list. And I finished Warbreaker, so I'll just make my way down the list. This is April so far. I want to read every single day in April, so I have a box for each day. And then I was trying to find a way to make myself read more lately because I've been finding it really hard to concentrate and finding it that I don't want to read lately, which is very unlike me. So I thought maybe having some kind of book bingo where it's like instead of prompts on what to read, it's more prompts on how to read and where to read. And I actually converted it to a Instagram template. So let's see, there's like read for an hour, read 100 pages in a day, read 5 days in a row, read in the morning, read outside. This is on my Instagram in the templates section down here on my homepage, so if you're interested and you want to grab that, you can totally grab that, screenshot it, and start using it. And yeah, I thought that was fun. A few more spreads. This one I ran out of space in the front. I kind of decided to add it later, but it's a 2020 bracket, kind of like March Madness but with books. And I have the months on the side, the best book from each month, or my favorite book from each month, and then I added a column of why I thought it was my favorite. And then over here you kind of put them against each other and you decide which one wins out of all of them. I think I did this wrong though. I think it's supposed to be like January and then July and then March. Like I think you're supposed to not have them back to back because this is so far January, February, March. So I think I did that wrong. Might have to get some white out and change it, but we'll see. This one, I'll put the name of the person that I borrowed this from, and I think she usually draws the covers on the left and then draws the cover that wins. But like I said, I'm drawing the covers in the front of the book, so I didn't want to do that here. Then I have a series to finish list. I have so many series that I've started and then stopped. So this is kind of my attempt to push myself to finish these series. And words I learned. Solicitous. I saw this actually in, I think it was like Ninth House and another book I was reading. I saw it like 2 or 3 times within those books. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this means. I had to look it up, and then I kept seeing it. So I was like, I need to write this down because I just learned a new word. I also have this page where I have every single book that I own on my shelves, and I have a dot next to it to differentiate by the genre. There's also a star next to it if I haven't read it yet, and an R if I want to reread it. And I'll insert a clip of my shelves so you can see how I can't really see any of the books and I keep forgetting like what books I own. I wanted to be able to see what I own and see what I want to read next, so this list is very helpful. That was my flip through. Let me know if you have a reading journal and if you make videos about it, because I'd love to come check it out and get some ideas on other spreads I can do. Like I said, go follow me on Instagram. I'm more active there these days, and I definitely post a lot in my stories. See you in my next video. Bye guys.